There we go. I think it hears. Spicy.
Awesome.
I absolutely hate OBS and that little delay sometimes. I'm going to be real with you.
Right?
That shit drives me fucking nuts.
No, it's always fun.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, what's up, guys? Welcome to the fourth episode? Fourth episode of the Primecast. I'm so proud of you for saying that shit. Just throwing that shit out there.
Damn,
but
words out of his mouth.
My dad's birthday is May 4th. All right. So I know the whole May the 4th be with you. That's in my brain. I know that one. And he's not a Star Wars fan. So that's the sad part.
Oh, it's okay. He'll come around. But
he hasn't done it for 58 years.
Hey, we're still hope. 2023.
Oh my God.
New him. I don't know, bro.
It's the new year, maybe.
I don't know.
What's it? Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year.
Indeed.
Fucking 2023, January 2nd. Hey, next time when we pick days, let's verify what day they fall on. 'Cause holy shit. The second, what was it? Last episode was like on New Year's,
Bro, I think it was like
Christmas Eve, was it? Or like the day after Christmas or some shit like that? When we had the last episode?
Everybody was like, damn, this guy went to fucking brutal.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, I didn't think people would be on during the holidays. You right.
But I am.
I was like, oops, the day after Christmas. Yeah, we just need to verify that next time. We definitely didn't look at that shit. But welcome, everyone. This is the Primecast. For those of you that don't know, we exclusively basically talk about Paragon The Overprime. We go over recent updates. We go over the state of the game, news, etc. And even though we do bring up other MOBAs in comparison at times, we do try to keep it as controlled to Paragon The Overprime as possible. But first, let's introduce ourselves. If we could start off with Menace and Bearded than myself. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I am Menace Rex. I am one of the partners with with Paragon The Overprime. Almost choked on there. You can find all my content, Menace Rex, all over the place. I do usually post daily, but if you don't know, now you know now. I just recently moved to another state. So once I get my bearings back in place, we will be getting back to the content grind. But yeah, go ahead, Bearded.
So what I noticed there is Paragon, the Overprime, and choking is natural for you because you kind of went through that pretty smoothly.
No, I don't usually choke in Paragon The Overprime. No.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm the Bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder. Very excited to get this episode to you because we got some spicy content. Ranger's been putting out some great information for all of us, and I hope you all been paying attention. If not, we're definitely going to go over it here in this episode. Stick around. I hope you enjoy.
Spicy. What's up, guys? First of all, I'm proud of you for using the word spicy a second ago. But what's up, guys? I'm Windu, also known as Windu the Mace. I do everything from mobile content, strategy content here and there, and a little bit of racing here and there as well. But I'll be honest with you guys. I want to start off with this. I don't know if you guys might have shared a similar experience. On Saturday, I was having a little hiatus. I literally didn't play video games for like 2 weeks straight, right? Just spending nonstop time with the family. I was tempted. Hopped on an Overprime match. I did a casual and I did a ranked. The ranked was placement. Casual, it was fun. Had a blast, bunch of shit show fights everywhere, but it was fun by all means. Ranked, bro. My teammates were learning.
That's a great word.
That is an amazing word, bro.
You could say.
Of course. And it's okay to be learning, right?
Right.
I mean, let me not be, I'm okay. It's okay to be learning. But I'll be honest with you, as I was playing with it, by the end of that one ranked match, I literally looked at that shit, and I was actually doing duo queue with Huddy. And I looked at it and I was like, bro, you can't fucking tell me that I got 9 more placements just like that. Or even close to that. I honestly rather go play casual, or I'd rather switch the game. And I understand placements are going to be a little bit rough. I thought waiting a little bit, maybe waiting a month until the kind of ranked kind of evened out a little bit once people started flooding in and stuff like that, But I'm curious as to if they're taking the casual experience that you're doing, like your casual MMR. Are they taking that into consideration into rank? Do we know?
I am speculating it. Wait, let me correct that. I'm speculating that it's not being calculated into ranked, because I think it's fair to say you got your fair amount of quick battle games in. So to a degree, your MMR should be on a level to where you shouldn't even be playing with people who are critically learning the game from like bare bottom.
Critically learning. That's a fucking good one. Critically learning. I like that.
So like I said, I'm speculating no, because myself, I'm guilty of it too. A lot of my placements that were definitely rough like that. Had a lot of people learning on both ends, not just my team only, but I seen it on the other team too. So yeah, I'm definitely saying no. Beard is probably going to say, I can't even get a rank game at all, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I got a rank game, bro. It took me like 10 minutes. It was on a Saturday night. I was with Huddy. We sat there for a little bit. Casual was almost instant, to be honest with you. Ranked, we were like, damn, okay. Maybe it's because their MMR has kind of flushed out. Maybe it's because we'll get a very good competitive game out of this. That's why it's taking a little bit. And it was interesting, for sure.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't think the wait was too bad. Again, 10, maybe 15 minutes tops. I've waited worse in other games. We all know that certain games that shall not be named.
No, I'll name it. I disagree with you. I
knew this was coming. I
wasn't going to go at it like this, but no, like that's you're 100% wrong. I played Fault during peak hours, and I never waited over 26 minutes for a match. Never waited over 26 minutes for a match. And that's what I did the other night, trying to play a ranked match. I waited over 26 minutes, took a screenshot, posted it on Twitter, because that is insane. Like, this is one of the things that you guys are like, hey, we have ranked mode. Come play our game. All right, I'm coming to play ranked mode. I can't play ranked mode because I'm not sitting there for 26 minutes. Is way too long.
I don't disagree. I think that maybe because there was a lot of hype, especially when the game first came into early access, probably week 1, week 2 sort of vibes, that a lot of people were very enthusiastic about sharing the quick queue times. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And that was something I was looking forward to when I got to ranked. Then officially, they gave everybody characters. I basically unlocked rank for free after that little update that they did.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I still think it's a horrible idea to have to claim everything through an email. I'm sorry. That's just me. Like, holy shit. If I buy something, I have to go claim it in my email to then be able to just fucking put it in my store.
I didn't even know you did, but okay.
Yes, bro. You got to claim everything through the fucking little email service that they got, bro. Sorry, just a little pet peeve of mine. But I don't know. I think that's just like an expectation thing, because I thought because there were so many people boasting how many, like, all the players that are on there, right? NA and Asia, everything combined. So many players are on there. So many players, like people loving rank, people doing this and that. I honestly thought, coming into the game after the 2-week hiatus, that I was going to find a better flushed out version of ranked. I thought that I was going to find quick matches. I honestly expected the game to be more thriving than what it is. That is a separate subject that we're going to go into here in a second, and the developers addressed it in its own. But
so Big Shoe says Oveprime is an Asian-based game, so most people playing on the Asia servers. And he said fault queues had me sitting for an easy 30 minutes to an hour midday NA. That's the thing. This was 8 p.m. NA East. Like that.
I get what you're saying. Like you're on during prime time
for NA. I'm queuing NA East. I'm during peak times NA East time. I should not sit for 26 minutes in a ranked queue in a game that, when we're looking at the player base, and I don't care if the majority of the player base is Asia, we're looking at the player base and the size of it. The size of this destroys Fault's player base. And I'm even telling you that the end of Fault, what I played Fault all the way to the end of it, I never had a game. I never had a wait over. I probably never waited over 10 minutes for a Fault match. Because when I play, the times I play are always during peak times for me.
So there were always players on, you saying?
I was always played with I may have played against the same players, but I never waited more than 10 minutes in a fault match, right? And this player base being as big as it is, I should not have an issue finding a rank match. 26 minutes, I shouldn't wait that long.
So Reaper's saying that apparently he's heard there's a bug that's going around where people can't find queues, that apparently going into the training mode and leaving helps it. Like it resets the queues almost.
Interesting.
And helps you join.
Okay.
I was like, because I know I waited. But again, that's 10, 15 minutes.
That's great information for everybody to have. So I'm glad Reaper's here to let us all know that stuff, because if anybody's listening to this, doesn't matter if you're watching it live right now on Twitch, if you're watching it later on YouTube, the fact you're able to figure that out, that might be something that might be a troubleshooting thing. Like, hey, I'm having issues. Let me just go open this up real quick. Let me exit out and see what happens. Because
actually, ironically, shout out to Reaper, because this video that's being played right here is Reaper's video. Anyway, continue.
Nice, there you go. Knowing that information, though, is enough. If I'm a content creator that I'm here trying to make content for these games, right? So I'm going to stick around longer than just the general population of somebody who sits there and sits in that rank queue for 26 minutes is going to leave this game.
Bro, I know people that won't sit there for 20 minutes. Legit.
Yeah.
Like they did it with Fault. They'll do it on Predecessor, Oveprime. It doesn't matter the game. After like 5 minutes, they're like, bro, what the fuck are we doing? What is this? Am I sitting outside of GameStop waiting for the game to release? Get me the fuck out of here. Let's go play Call of Duty.
Right. It's very unfortunate, because me and Beardy have talked offline about this, and I've said that I on my end, and I know Mangoose is like another one. I don't think I ever waited more than like 3 minutes for a game, ranked or quick battle. And that's why I'm still playing ranked heavily, because I know I'm not waiting for queues. And I wish like the thing Reaper mentioned, I never even heard of it till today. So I'm glad he said that. Now that if I'm playing with somebody where somebody else comes in the group I'm in and they are expressing their queue times, to say, hey, just try to see if it works.
Right.
I'm not waiting more than 5 minutes. I'll switch a game, get a whole game in before I wait that long.
I'm curious, Bearded, was that one of your placements, or was it just like
placements? Yes, it is a placement. I haven't finished my placement. I think it's my fifth or sixth placement match that I'm still doing. So I have to go back. I have to open it up and look at it again. But
it has something to do with the placement matches, because like Menace is already out of it. Reaper's already out of the placements. Maybe something's going on with a queue resetting or something in the placement matches that just kind of needs to be looked at.
It's definitely something wonky. I don't think it has anything to do with what time Beard is playing or where he's at or anything like that. I think it's something internal. Absolutely. Yep.
So let me ask you guys, do we want to go into the first Ranger message? Do you guys want to say anything else before your experience with the ranked before we move forward?
I mean, other than that, like besides my queue times, like my 5 matches or 4 or 5 matches that I did before, because I can't remember exactly which one I was trying to queue up with there. I've had a very hit or miss. It's literally been like, I had one match, like I queued up and I think I had like a Twin Blast jungle, who didn't know how to jungle, and you just picked Twin Blast to pick Twin Blast. And it's like, well, here we go. And then it was just a bad game, I'm like, well, that sucks, Yeah. And then my next match, like it was like, hey, we ran through
and ranked.
And ranked. I was Grux and I ran right through and had a good time and got the dub, and it actually would have been posted on the YouTube, but for some reason my audio wasn't coming through, and I'm like, well, shit, that didn't work out, so I can't post that one. And then I've had some other ones that were just bad ones. Like I had ones that were close and I lost, and I had the other ones that was like, this is again a shit show. Like, who am I playing with? Like, these people don't know what they're doing. Like, and then it was just a bad situation there. I had one where somebody took Murdock off lane, died twice, and just quit because he died twice.
Yeah,
that's a MOBA player. That's a MOBA player, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Said like I mean, you guys know I haven't had that much time to really play, and the only time I can really play is like early in the morning before my day gets started. But I'm slowly climbing through the ranks, right? I'm about to be out of Silver 1 now, and the matches have gotten incredibly better. It's very, very rare now, especially only in rank, because I refuse to play quick battle now. But
I can imagine Silver Gold is where things start to even out. It like most bell curves, right?
And honestly, what I use to verify that is I keep looking at the leaderboards. I would scroll all the way to the very back and see if that MMR is balancing out. And it is, because when the game started, it was silver 3. Everybody was silver 3. Top 500 was silver 3 and above. Now I think it's peaked at, if I seen correctly, gold 1 or gold 3. That's the top 500, and is, goes up from that. So that's honestly what I use to see if it's balancing out in any way, shape, or form before a dev tells me anything like that.
So is it so you go up? So you basically silver 3, silver 2, silver 1, then gold 3, gold 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll probably, once I'm finally done, I'll probably bronze 8.
Nah. I honestly,
my dude's gonna be dividing up in bronze, bro. Oh shit!
There's definitely been some people who I played with, and they felt like they shouldn't be in bronze. I'm not the one that says if they're in bronze or not, but I definitely.
Every bronze player does not believe they should be in bronze.
Yeah, that to a T. That's true.
Like, I'm sorry, but every bronze player I've ever met, bro.
I'm here to speak about Beard.
No, and I'll give Beard credit. He's a lot better than he gives himself credit for. But every bronze player, I kid you not, bro, you're there for a reason. I don't care what it is. Bearded, literally, sometimes it's just because of the people you play with. Sorry to the homies. Boy,
and then on top of that, you see, Reaper he drops in the chat, until plat my queues were 5 minutes max. And again, I'm using that to verify on the back end if they're actually queuing people up. If he's Diamond Master with other Diamond Masters, which there might not be that many right now. That's why the queue times are a lot longer, which I expected. I hope Reaper isn't just pub stomping on bronze players, even though we all think he is.
In ranked, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Isn't that where the Soul Reaper name came from? Question mark?
Yeah. Reaping the souls of bronze players.
Yeah. Bronze Reaper here.
Much love to Reaper. But yeah, man, I don't know. I know I'm gonna give it another shot. Like, for example, I already had it scheduled that tomorrow is gonna be an Overprime only rank stream, right? But I just thought I would mention it because I found it mad interesting. It was literally a random Saturday night, like 8 o'clock. Just decided to get on for shits and giggles, and it's like, yo, let's play. Did one casual, one ranked. The ranked lobby, honestly, bro, it was so mixed. It honestly looked like the 3 other players on my team besides me and Huddy were put there just to balance me and Huddy. That's honestly what it felt like, bro. It was rough. We almost won, by the way.
I might have missed this. Did you finish your placements?
That was my first one, legit.
That's first. Okay,
that's my first placement.
It really sucks that you can't play with people who are placing. I understand it, but I really wish I could join you.
But here's the hilarious part, bro. Me and Huddy queue together because Huddy's done with his placements. I'm not. Right? And me and Huddy queue together. Sorry, your elo difference is too far. And it's like, you know what? Whatever, Huddy. Let's just solo queue until we get our placements done. Queue immediately in the same fucking lobby, same team.
Yeah, that happened to me and him.
It's like, bro, what?
We're two. His finishes, and it queued us. It queued us against each other, but we still got in the same game. So,
like, I understand you don't want it to impact, but I just thought that shit was hilarious. I was like, bro, how are you gonna tell me we're too separate to be in this to play together, but you put us in the same fucking lobby on the same team?
Right? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Not at all. Give me a better update message. Like, hey, you can't queue during placement. Got it.
Yeah, give me something.
But yeah, I'm ready to go into the Ranger message if you guys are.
Let's do it.
Let's go into that first one he dropped, the big lengthy one.
Yep. All right. So, do you want to read this off, Bearded? Since you always love reading these.
Yes, love reading them. All right. All right. Well, forgive me, guys. So I'm not much of a reader here. All right. I know that many people are worried about the game due to the lack of communication these days and the departure of many users. And I know a lot of people say that they don't manage games and communicate. And community, sorry. So I'd like to briefly tell you what we're doing right now. Right now, we have a lot of lost players. So we are analyzing the data and looking for the cause. From the operation to the completeness of the game, there are many areas that are lacking, but we are trying to improve by focusing on the experience difficulties by users who are new to our game. If this part is not improved, I think that a similar situation will be repeated, even if many users come in the future. We will also work harder to create and improve the game balance. What's BM?
Bad manners.
I thought
there's an endless debate. I've heard, depending on where you're from, they say bad manners or bad mouthing. I've always heard that the official one was bad manners. Could be wrong.
Does that fit here though? Like, I feel like BM means something else, like balance management maybe, and maybe fun elements. No. And fun elements.
Well, no, because they mentioned game balance before.
Right, game balance, BM, and fun elements, as well as
no, I get what you're saying. That sentence almost makes it seem like BM should be something positive, as opposed to we're trying to. I mean, but no, because they're saying improve. They're trying to improve the game's balance, BM, and fun elements.
Fun elements.
So it's like a technical part, a bad part, and the fun parts. Does that make sense?
Yes,
maybe,
but it just threw me off when I read it. So
yeah, you're good.
Fun elements as well as the identity that represents our game. I know that many people are worried because the release of patches and roadmap is being delayed. We're going to patch once a month as originally planned, and that will be mid-January. We are currently testing the next hero, and information on the next hero will be released soon. Please wait a little longer, even if it takes a little longer, and there are many inconvenient parts. We are always working hard, and we express our gratitude to the many people who trust and wait for us. Thank you.
Okay, so I think that was well said, and it took a lot of balls to come out and actually say to the community, hey man, we're losing players. We don't know why, but we're trying to get to the bottom of it. I think that's a lot of cojones.
Right.
I know plenty of companies that would have just been like, what do you mean? We're not losing players. It's just Christmas.
I can definitely see why the player retention aspect is going to be important for them. But there's so many different aspects that they're going to have to hit this issue from to be able to retain players and to not repeat a mistake in the future. Even though I personally think, regardless of what they do, people are going to come and people are going to go. They're not going to be able to
happen.
It's the smallest paragraph on here, but it's the best paragraph for it, in my opinion. And it's the if this part is not improved, and I think the similar situation will be repeated, even if many users come in the future, blah, 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 blah. That paragraph itself that we read, that is the best part about this, because they're trying to figure out what is the issue and not to have it happen again. Right. And I had this conversation. Mangoose put his video out there. For those who don't follow Mangoose on YouTube, go follow Mangoose on YouTube. The guy's got great content. He put a video out going over this, and he put out his things of trying to help fix the issue, or like not fix the issue. In my opinion, I think it was more things that just kind of help
the state of the game
from the issue. Like, hey, we're not gonna, don't look at this over here is what that's how I felt. Like, like talk about bringing console out. I'm like, I don't think bringing console out is going to fix this issue. Yeah, you're going to have more people playing, but people are leaving for a reason. People aren't leaving because, hey, there's no PC players are not leaving this game because there's no console gamers. That's not why they're leaving. Like it's.
I mean, that's a fair point. That's a fair point, and I really do think that they. Okay, here's my issue on it. From the majority of comments that I've gotten on like my tweets, YouTube comments, and etc. Whenever I hear somebody just very logically or very, just stating their opinion without trying to shit on a game, this or that, right? Just like a well thought out comment.
Yep.
The majority of the comments that I read that are against the playing of Overprime, they go somewhere along the lines of, I like Overprime, I love the combat, but too much combat got stale for me, and they felt that it lacked complexity because of the constant combat.
Right.
That was like in general gist between most of the comments that I was getting. Now, do you guys agree with that statement just off rip?
I do agree with that statement. I do agree that is the issue, because if it wasn't either in my game or me watching your stream or somebody else's stream, Menace's stream, whoever I was watching game, I felt like there was times and there's certain things that need to fix it, right? The respawn timers, you not just respawn timers, but like you need to have things that like benefits of dying, or the things like, hey, it's not worth me dying. If I die, more things happen, right? Or benefits or like having the benefits of killing not be that strong, so you're not trying to force or
like negative bounties. You just killed that person 3 times in a row. They didn't even kill a minion. They're literally not worth anything at that point,
right? Yeah, because I just felt like it literally, the way I saw it was somebody like you guys were killing people, and then like that person would come back, and then like it would just like, all right, you team wipe them or come close to team wiping them, and all of a sudden that person comes back and cleans up what you guys had, and it was this nonstop like back and forth, like, all right, we're just gonna keep fighting the same spot, and we just kind of slowly move as we're trying to move to where we want to fight at, and it was just like, this is a very, it was a lot. Now, was it entertainment for a viewer? Sure, because there's a lot of action going on. I get that. But when it comes to like the actual gameplay of it, it's like, whoa, what's happening here?
My biggest gripe with the game is there's that point in the game where you can't get an objective and you can't push the tower either. And it happens usually around that I'll be lenient and I'll say 25 to 35 minute period where you got all T1s down, you may have got mini prime or it's been taken, you got big prime when it came up, you got the spirit, but the attack, the whatever team is dominating can't dominate enough to get the inhib, because the defensive team is turtled in, and the team that's losing, they can't necessarily push because they don't have no objectives or the cases, and it's just a matter of, okay, we're going to wait. We're going to take jungle. We're going to wait to see if somebody gets caught slipping, and then we're going to take the next objective and then push. That adds way too much time to the game, because prime is 10 minutes, and another prime spirit is another 5 minutes that you have to be waiting. And it's just that's the point of the game where I hate, and I find myself in that situation probably 80 to 85% of the time. So I think that needs to be addressed. I don't have a problem with the current state of the items as much as whatever other people might have, or the actual content of itself. I think they have a nice,
I like the items.
I guess I think they have a nice like layout of what they need so far. Can there stuff be added? Yes. Can stuff be changed? Absolutely. But honestly, the gameplay itself is what is taking a lot of enjoyment. It's that one little time period in the game.
I don't want to be that negative Nancy, but I disagree with the items. One, as an ADC main, there's like not enough lifesteal in this game to build diversity. So that's something that definitely needs to be changed, in my opinion. And then two, especially with tank items, like you need more lifesteal with how tanky things you can be in this game. But also, let me know how you guys feel about this. But I feel like I can't pinpoint it, and I'm not that great of a gamer that I can tell you this is the issue. But looking at the item, the shop for Oveprime, I just feel it's more convoluted or whatever. Like I feel like this is just like compared to other shops that I've looked at and I played with, like I could go, this is what I want. I feel like that one, I'm like, okay, I just feel like there's a lot going on there, and it's not as easy to navigate. I feel like I look at it, I'm like, whoa. It just, I don't know, for some reason, it's just not as user friendly or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just feel different.
I was just gonna say, I think that's has to do maybe with loss of translation, and then also the searchability, being able to search descriptions as opposed to item names overall. Because if I could search anti-heal and then see all the options, that would facilitate. I don't even need to know how to navigate, right? But even on the navigating, like what is it? I want to say in Overprime, it's just called Vamp, the category.
Yeah, they have lifesteal. They have
There's one item that's lifesteal.
Yeah, but the actual category itself.
Yes.
The category itself is called Vamp, right? So I'll be honest, I, like a dumbass, and this was back during the first what's it called, the final test? Yeah, during the little final test that they had. So like a dumbass, my whole first game, I was like, bro, where the fuck is this lifesteal category? I didn't even realize it was fucking Vamp. But I don't know. I think a little confusion might be caused between their recommended page and the all items. I've seen a lot of people literally sit there just tapping on the stats on the left side of the screen, and recommended is like, bro, this game won't let me filter. This game won't let me filter. I don't know what's going on. And then it's like, no, bro, you got to tap all items up top. And like, oh, like a little simplistic, a little bit easier to find for a lot of experienced mobile players that know that there's usually a different recommended versus all items, right? But I could see it, but realistically, the majority of players isn't even going to leave past that recommended page until they get more experience, right?
I think Reaper brings up a good point, though. The background color is white when the gray text, or background color is white, whatever. As soon as white and the text, white text on gray background, like that. Yeah. That right there is just like, it's not enough. It's the same thing you tell me.
Like more contrast.
More contrast when we're making the thumbnails. You know, like you got to have that contrast. And I just feel like, I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like when I look at the shop, to me, I think it's something aesthetically, and even he also says, give me bigger item icons. Like this is the item art. Like I
can't with the Reaper, bro. This man just said in the chat, it's like I'm taking an eye test looking for items. Like, can you read this line? Looking at
yeah.
I can't, bro.
And I feel like that's what it is. Like playing Fault, playing Pred. Like I go pull up their item shops. I can, all right, let me go through these. Right now, the item art for Overprime destroys Pred's item art, but I also know Pred's item art is just placeholders right now, you know. So I like their item art; it's good, but it's just like it, you know, it's very small. Think of it. We're all Twitch streamers here, right? You get your little Twitch icon, you got your little emotes that you got, right? But they give you the 3 options to upload, but the only one that gets used is that very small one. Like, man, I wish you could see the big one.
16.
Yeah.
Hey, not on TVs though. On TVs, it makes a difference. 4K, that shit looks spicy. That's all I'm saying. Right.
But I'm saying, like, we don't get to, like, hardly anybody gets to see the benefit of that big one that we uploaded that we got told we had to upload, right? Like, you're only showing us that small one. Like, give us that fucking, like, let us see how big this actual item art that you did a great job on.
There is other elements of the UI too that I wish were improved. Like next to at the right hand side of like your health bar and your mana bar, there's that like your player stats.
Yeah,
whenever you put an item,
those are invisible, bro.
Physical power. Yeah, those should turn. If it wasn't for the fact that it changed green, I still wouldn't be able to at least squint at it and see what the increased value is. But like at base stats, completely invisible because it's all white. So
I do think it's creative to have them listed there, very League of Legends style, like have them on the screen because not every game has that. But yeah, I think that's just a major contrast issue.
Yeah,
like even if it's just kind of separating them through a little box behind them, kind of like what they did with the actual ability icons or something. Yeah. But
if anything, make it adjustable to whatever liking you like. But there's people who I play with now, and they have no idea what these icons on the UI. I was playing with somebody 2 days ago, and they had no idea that a prime and a spirit timer will pop up when it's a minute from spawning. That big, like what shape is that? The stop sign shape. What is that?
Octagon?
Octagon. Jesus Christ.
He said, goddamn.
The octagon symbol pops up on the right-hand side. The Prime Spirit, the yellow one. Guardian.
Is there a timer?
Yeah.
I thought it just literally, Prime Spirit has appeared, and that just kind of stays in the...
No, there's definitely
it's a stop-tagon.
A stop-tagon. Yeah. But, yeah, definitely being able to read it needs to get improved 100%. I definitely agree. I think I'm used to being spoiled by like Fault and then certain elements of League of Legends where like things are color coded and then like using specific item art for these specific types of things, like physical power, either be a gun, a bow.
Hold on, I'm gonna put on the screen real quick while we keep talking. Continue. Yeah. This is just literally, this is Reaper's game with the menu on the screen while it's paused. We can kind of just talk about this image as we keep going. What you were saying?
Yeah. So like, I think I got used to being spoiled by certain games, either color coding or using specific item arts for certain things. For example, like physical power being only guns or bows or whatever the case is. Being able to break it down like that. That way you preemptively know what you're trying to go for. Where this game, it is very, very scattered. And I know me and Bearded has this conversation in the past where like Fanatic's dessert, you would never think that's an item for a carry. It's a fucking dessert.
Yeah, bro.
It's completely off the wall. I don't know.
You're right. That little ice cream plate or something, it's like a carry item.
Yeah, if it wasn't for as much time as I played, now I've got it understood.
It's a great carry item, actually.
Yeah.
It's my first one I built into.
Yeah, but like I said, there's a lot of those like items that are just like, I wouldn't think this is a tank item or carry item or support item and stuff like that. And I just wish it was just a little bit more linear with the way they represent these items.
I just want to throw out real quick. I don't think it's a contrast issue. I think it's a font issue. That skinny ass font that's all compressed together makes me feel like that's thumbnail font, not actually like, because it looks like font that's used to save space in descriptions, not necessarily font that's made to be easily legible. Because they got plenty of room between the end of physical power and that fucking up arrow 90 on the screen. They easily could make a little bit like the line spacing a little bit more, so it's a little bit easier.
The background, on top of that, just make the background maybe a little bit darker. You don't have to change the color of stuff that's grayed out.
Well, hold on, actually. So I just noticed something that I don't think makes too much sense. So look at the categories here: starting items, key items. I feel like there's more spacing in there, like the line spacing. I feel like is larger than it is on the left column where you have all these words jammed together.
Yeah, I can't unsee it.
Yeah. So another issue, I think this is probably the biggest issue I'm having is these items. Like what Menace was saying though is like some of these items, they just don't, like, you look at them and it's like, what does this have to, like, what is this item, right? Some of them make sense. You get a sword, you got an axe, right? But like, all right, with their key items, right?
Like this one right here, 3100, the useful items. The one that's a crit item with magic armor. It's a ring. The ring with a little the drop looking eyeball, whatever glowing thing in the middle.
Circle. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know.
It's a crit item.
Crit item, magic defense, and it is a cleanse active.
Yes.
Yeah. So you would never think, by looking at that, you would never think, okay, this goes on the carry.
Above it though, the key items. The first one, the 2700 one, the one to the left.
Oh, the life seal item. Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
I'll be honest, I still don't even know what that is.
What is that? That's what I'm saying. Like, when you look at that picture,
I thought it was a torch.
I want to know, hey, grab this.
I thought it was like a barbed whip. That's what I said.
I'm like, what?
Oh, I could see that. Okay.
Ooh, now that you say that, it kind of gives me that with the lightsaber, the whipping lightsaber. What, didn't somebody have that in one of them? Not in the lightsaber style, but they had
he's talking about the Inquisitors, the Royal Guards, the red guys in the palace.
Red guys, yes. One of them had one like that.
They had, anyway.
So then we go over. So not that one. You got the little teddy bear guy. That one doesn't make sense either. It doesn't. Again, that picture doesn't go with what it actually does.
Higher resolution photo makes it look like you can make it easier to see that it's a sword. It's a sword with blood.
The $2,600 one, or coins, whatever. 2,600 one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Spiral looking thing? Yeah.
Yeah. What is that thing?
To the right, right there.
Yeah.
They look like earrings.
But what is that? What about what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my girl wears those.
Yeah. What am I gonna buy that for?
I can't even remember the name of that item either. Reaper.
You know what I'm saying?
I know Reaper might know. I feel like I should know because I play a lot of like fighters, but. Is there a way
to get that image to be larger on this screen? I think in the menu, that's an option where you can see the picture in detail and like a description of the item. I
don't know.
On the website?
No, but I mean like in game, because like in game, you see a brief description. You see the brief picture, but it's weird. It's almost like the highlighted pictures are smaller than the picture in the store.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm verifying.
I just noticed it tells you in the story that you can actually just only buy one of these. That's interesting. I never realized that. It'll tell you right there.
But there are components you can buy multiple of.
Correct.
Like the
tier 2s.
Yeah, the Zima's toy, the mask that gives you the magic damage, you could build multiple of those, which I think shouldn't be a thing.
That sounds broken. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. Looking at this menu, the art that pops out in the potions with the gray background, the ward, seeing the finalized legendary items have a yellow background. I don't necessarily think there's a contrast issue personally. I do think it's more of a font issue. I would definitely, I mean, you guys are kind of right. I definitely want to see this font to be just white, not gray. Because I feel like if you look at the bottom right part of this item where it says magical defense, health, mana, cooldown reduction, it's weird that the numbers are white, but the words are gray.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can kind of look at that closely and see the difference between those.
Well, that and even the numbers of what you're at, like right now, he's sitting at 74.7 magical defense. And if he gets that item, it jumps up to 124.7.
I like that green
being gray. Those numbers being gray, it with on that gray background, it makes it like it doesn't pop enough. Having those numbers be white,
and then the next one to be green.
I'm okay with the green. I think the green needs to be a little more bolder, like not, that mint green is too subtle. I think it needs to pop. Like this is it's information you want your eyes to pop to it. You want, hey, that's what's changing, right? That needs to be there. It needs to be
pop like the red on the potion or the purple on the mana potion, etc.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
And I think that green's too dull, right? So give me white numbers on what you're currently sitting at, and then what you're going to make it a popping color, whatever that color might be. I don't care if it's green or not. I don't like green. I'm a Michigan fan, but whatever. Give me what you got, but make it pop, not that dull color.
So if I'm not mistaken, how is the Pred store? Does it take up the whole screen, but it's to a degree transparent?
I'll be honest, I don't remember. I haven't played Predecessor in like 2.
Because I'm trying to go down.
That's a lie. Like the day after Christmas, I played one match with Huddy, but I don't remember that. Why though? What's up?
The hole I'm trying to go down is like Oveprime needs to use a lot of the, like there's a lot of space that they could be using that isn't being used at all. Like I don't think I would have a problem if a store was taking up my whole screen, but it was to a degree transparent. I don't need to be fully see-through because I shouldn't be trying to buy items if I'm in lane. If I'm at base, it doesn't really matter that much to me.
See, I think this size is okay. Because here's the thing, even when you look at the size, there's still empty space inside of there, right? Like there's space there's space they could use a little bit better. I just think it's probably more of a scaling issue combined with maybe the type of font that they did. Because I think that the overall organization of the store is a pretty decent layout. All the stats on the left hand side, starting key, useful items. This is a recommended tab, of course, in the middle, and then a tree and descriptions on the right, and then on the top you can actually find even more items through there. But I don't know how much actually.
It does take up more screen. Sorry, I pulled up a old video, right? It does take up more screen for on Pred. It is more transparent. Like I'm able to see the exact skin of what the hero I'm playing as, right? Yeah. So you're able to see it. So you can actually see what's going on if you had to. But the icons are even they're even the same size, I would say. So maybe the size isn't the issue. It's just more of understanding what you're buying.
I think a font change will fix that, man.
I think that's my biggest issue. Is like I think the art is very nice. It's very well done, but it's of an item that I don't know what I'm building into, right? And I think that's what it needs to be. I think it needs to be something that's just gonna, hey, I look at that. That's a sword. I know I'm doing damage with that. I look at that. That looks like some kind of magical tome. That's magic power, right?
Staff or something.
Staff. Yeah, something that just things that just kind of people relate to. Like, You know, a ring. You give me a ring, all right. A ring's going to give me some kind of magic defense or whatever, right? You know, whatever.
Yeah,
like certain things.
Which that part does work in here. The ring of protection, it gives you physical defense, not magic.
Okay. Either way.
But still, and then they have a different ring for magic.
You know, a ring's going to give you some kind of defense protection. Or whatever. Like, you know, it's going to give you protection of some sort, right? You know, chest plates. You know, all that stuff's going to be, you know, defense. So. You just, there's things that we all know as gamers, right? But like you give me, you know, 2 earrings, but they do physical power. That doesn't make sense, you know. And those aren't earrings. I'm assuming those aren't earrings, but that's what they look like, you know. And I think that's part of the issue is like you just look at it, you don't know what it's doing. Hey, build the ice cream, get the earrings, and then get the teddy bear. You'll be doing great. Wait, what? What am I? Why am I getting ice cream, earrings, and teddy bear? Am I making up to my wife? Did I do something wrong? Like
no, so I can't with you, bro. Hold on. So I think that the biggest issue that you pose could easily be fixed, not only with a different text, so it's a little bit more legible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think some of these names definitely need adjusting as far as some of these items. Like Demia's toy, that's a cool item. Quite frankly, I thoroughly dig it. I love the art. I like the name behind it. It's kind of quirky. It's like, whose toy? Like what? Yeah. But I get it. It's like you look at it as a toy, but then it does like an AOE damage. It's a quirky one. I don't mind it. Right? Which one is the AP item that's called like mathematics architect some bullshit?
Yes, I'm trying to find it. You beat me fucking to it.
Bro, I saw that. I was like, bro.
Right here, yeah.
What's it called?
Mathematician's Intro to Architecture.
Mathematician's Intro to Architecture. I'm fucking getting a college class credit reading this shit, bro.
I just realized I said that completely wrong, but yeah. Yeah, man. It's definitely some other ones in here that are like, I don't know, man. 2 words is enough. You 3-word an item is like, yo.
Bro, tell me that doesn't sound like a college textbook. Like it honestly sounds like somebody was coming up with item names. They look over and be like, oh yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna use that one right there. Yeah, they'll never know where I got it from. And it's like their fucking lab book or some shit like that. The name?
It got a lot of words. It must be good.
Oh, but or like let's say some of the effects, right? Like I'm looking at Reaper's gameplay here. He's got a buff. It's either red or blue. But I see Triarchon's Vigor and Flavi's Vigor. I think that's literally just the game's way of saying red buff and blue buff.
Yep.
Right.
When you
could be wrong.
When you walk up to the buffs,
it'll have that name.
Yeah, because I mean they added that on whatever patch it was, where it'll have the health, the name of whatever buff you're attacking, and then if you have smite, it'll have the smite, how much you'll damage it for. Okay. But yeah, that is his, and that particular. I mean, the red buff just went away, but yeah, it was just red and blue. They were right there. Yeah. And if you have Prime, it'll say like Blessing of the Guardian. I think the Prime Spirit one, it'll have that too.
See, I'll actually even retract that as one of the options, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would ever sit here and even fucking notice that they have different names in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
I'm literally just going to look at the green words under, if I can read them. Look at mana region, power, or whatever. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even noticed the fact that they were different names until right now, to be honest with you.
There's definitely different names, and maybe it's just me nitpicking, but I like that because...
different camp names and stuff. Like, okay, I dig it.
Again, and this is just... I'm not trying to shit on Pred or anything, but like one of the UI gripes that I have with Pred is their buff indicators is just blue circles. It's not a timer. I mean, they have like the elapsing circle, but I don't know how much that value is, and I don't know what exactly the buff is.
Right.
I think the mana.
I have an actual timer.
The mana one's like a test tube symbol. But besides, I can't really recall off the top of my head. But regardless, it's just not informative enough for me, so I can't really make
a fair point.
Informed decisions based off that. But But yeah, regardless, needless to say, there are, like I said, items in this store that are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But will that actually drive off players?
For what?
Drive off players?
Yeah, I don't think. I think item wise, like maybe. Like
what are you asking? Talking about the UI that you were talking about with Pred, or are you talking about with the items and the names?
Just focusing so far on items and UI, because that is a general conversation that we're on.
I do think that will drive off players. I do think you not having a store that is understandable, that you can open up and you have, like, here we go, here it is, like, not that it has to be spoon fed to you, but like you just can kind of gravitate to it. That is something that you just like. And I know that's the way I was when I opened up Smite. That's why I preferred Paragon over Smite, because when I played Paragon, it had the card system. Hey, you get these 3 cards. You get the early game, mid game, late game cards. That's what you do, and it's like you can focus on that. You're not worried about anything else. Yeah, and then you go to Smite, and it's like, this is the first game I ever had a shop like this, and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? There's so many things here, and it's like, wait, what is this? Like, I know I take my cards, and I know that I grab my physical damage cards. Like, all right, I'm gonna go physical damage in this game. I got it. No, you open up item shop, it's like, you have everything. Here's it all. I'm like, well,
does Oveprime have auto buy? Right, it does, right? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, they did. It's enabled through the settings, I believe.
Yeah,
okay.
I just have my not disabled thing, so I can't remember. But
yeah, you're good. But being mindful that the average new player, let's say the person probably first couple games, let's say benefited it out first week, they might be on auto buy just playing the game. Would that be a reason for them to actually, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if they're on auto buy and they're just focusing on playing.
So. Yeah, I still think so, because they're auto buying, so they're not paying that much attention to the items. So when they're not paying that much attention to the items, they're like, how do you explain that you got the earrings to somebody? Hey man, I was playing a game, I got this one item, and I felt like I did really well with it. What item was that? Where do I find that item? It was a physical damage item. Which one is it? And then you go through and you're looking and you're trying to find it. It's like, wait, what? You can't even think. We can't even tell you the picture that it's supposed to be. It's not earrings. I 100% tell you that's not earrings. If it is, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But we look at that. It's like, yeah, does it look like earrings? I get what you're saying, but that's not earrings. That's got to be something else. What is it? You can't explain that to somebody.
Yeah.
And you said the one thing was a ring it's a circle with something in the middle of it. I take my ring off. There's nothing in the middle of it. Like, that's not a ring to me. The other thing to the left of it was a white silver band, and it looked like it had like blue diamonds in it. That's a ring. Like that. If that's what a ring is, you told me something was a ring that had something in the middle of it. Like, that's not a ring. It's a circle, but I can't tell you it's a ring. I mean, technically by definition, a ring is a circle, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a piece of jewelry. We're not talking about that. Like, it was. You can't describe that to somebody.
I personally think it'll be a big thorn in the side for experienced players and for new players too. It's definitely not a pro. Let's say that it's definitely on the weaker end of things that they can improve.
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think
it lists past games with past builds in your build history and your profile history, and it does. But you're not like, we're talking about somebody like that. One, they're just trying to go into a game. They're not going to, all right, let me accept the game and go look at my profile history so I can figure out what this item was so I can build it again. I
feel like a lot of people would actually do that. I write down my items because in a new MOBA in general, memorizing items is rough. It's be like, yo, I like that item. Yeah. I'm going to write that shit down on the side. I know a lot of people that take screenshots of a build that they did. They'll pop up the scoreboard, take a shot, keep that shit in their phone, and then they'll pull up that picture whenever they're gaming. Yeah. Like that's what gamers do, Like we find ways to remember, but
I think that's what whatever 5%ers, the 1%, like the ones who are like, we're in this game, we're here to play it, right? We're gonna create content on it. We're like, we want to play it. We're sticking around, right? But now let's just say the general population that's coming in just to enjoy a game, they're not taking screenshots. They're not doing that stuff. They're not getting that deep into it. If it's something that's not just easily accessible, understandable to them right then and there, they're not going through all the work. It's the same thing what you say, Windu, about people like putting the link already in it. When we were talking Fault and how Fault wasn't putting things on their main menu that you could just click on it and it would send you to their webpage, right? Make it easily accessible, right? Make it there, understandable. Like people aren't going to be like, all right, let me go hunt for it.
Right.
Be fair. You want to get to this second Ranger comment?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, go ahead and do the honors, Bearded.
I heard a lot of feedback from you guys, so I'm going to write something here in the future to organize my thoughts. We know there's a lot of feedback on the tank mage. Do the 2 items need to be adjusted? And he drops 2 pictures of the items here. I don't know their exact names. It looks like a purse, and it looks like some kind of scissor knife thing.
I thought that was a dagger, but that might be a necklace.
May I interject?
Go ahead.
For
both amulets.
Purposes. The item on the left is called Sweet Life, and then the item on the right is called Pendant of Confinement.
Pendant of Confinement. Okay.
I feel like those names should be backwards.
Sweet Life, right?
Yeah.
Sweet Life.
I already know. He's about to rip this apart. Yeah.
So what about this purse is Sweet Life?
Hey, man, I don't know. Bad and bougie purse, man. I don't know.
No, I feel like they should be backwards because the one on the left, to me, definitely looks like a pendant of the sorts. Right? Or maybe like a medal, maybe. With like a blue ribbon sort of vibes, you know?
I have a Google Drive that has very good image art representation. Reaper, I think I gave it a Reaper too. But it's like really blown up, so you can see the details. Maybe there's something in that roping of that second item that is a pendant. I don't know.
Yeah. But you got the game pulled up, Menace. What do those items do?
I think that roping, it's like a necklace. But you know what it looks like to me? It looks like if you watch the newest Mortal Kombat movie, his Scorpion's original, like daggers that he would throw. It looks like something like that.
Talking about the one on the right?
Yeah, the one on the right. It looks like something that he would throw in, and that's what his little get over here. It kind of gives me that feel to it. That's what I see with that. But I don't know. It also
that's what I thought it was, like a little dagger looking thing.
Maybe it's scissors because you have I don't know. It looks like you have the finger holes. Like, all right, let me cut something open here. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like these item arts, like beautiful art, but it doesn't explain to you what you're doing with your item.
So to sum it up, because Windu, I did hear you. What Sweet Light does ultimately, it is a physical defense item. So it gives you defense, health, mana, and cooldown. And the passive effect is anytime you get a kill and assist, you regain a percentage of your health and mana back. The components are really good. The Brightstone is a really good component in there. But ultimately, it's definitely good for tanks who want to keep staying in that fight as long as possible. Because the moment
I can see that on like a Sev or something.
Yeah, you definitely get a good chunk too. And obviously, the bigger your health pool and mana pool is, the bigger that value is going to be. And then Pendant of Confinement is a magic defense and health item, and the passive effect is a successful auto attack after you use an ability will slow enemies and deal bonus magic damage around them with a very short cooldown, like 5-second cooldown.
Yes. So do these items need to be adjusted? All right, and they've 276 voted yes, 53 voted no,
and then the 5 lost his shit.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
So Menace, you being a partner, can you tell me a little bit as to why these 2 specific items are being looked at? Because I would read those descriptions and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, are they just oppressive or what's going on?
No, I've seen multiple times in the feedback log, even in partner chats of people expressing concern for these items, especially when they're in combination with each other, because more or less they are what I like to call mirror items, except the only difference is one physical and one is magical. Yep. And with one giving sustain and the other one ultimately give you a pretty big damage chunk whenever you're using abilities. I think that's why people are griping and complaining. And maybe it's not so the items themselves. Maybe it's just that it's very hard to counteract, or it's not hard, but it's not as easy as what many people want it to be. Because like I said, you do get pretty chunky with these items, and you both get armor from both, and then the cooldown and mana is just a side perk, if you will.
Right. Now, No, we're talking about tank mage, right? So we're talking like people like Gideon just being able to build, just being able to be a little tanky, and also while he's able to chunk while he chunks, right? That's what we're talking about. Or are we talking like people that are like, all right, yeah, so that makes sense. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Now, I think another thing that's going to help fix this is not really adjusting these items, but I've said it before, add more lifesteal to the game. Like there's literally only one item I can put on as an ADC, and it's the mask. That's the lifesteal item, right? The other ones that
there's two.
They're there.
The fire sword.
What's the other one? The fire sword?
Yeah.
Read the description on that.
The fire sword will give you 5 or 7%, and then the mask will give you 15%.
And at the very bottom of that item, it says that melee. This works only on melee people.
Not the lifesteal.
No. Okay, so the lifesteal does. Okay, so Vamp Sword, the one that said
Vamp Sword,
looks like a barbaric whip. That is physical power 8% on all Vamp. The passive will only work for melee heroes, which the passive is a successful basic attack, deals
the cleave
physical damage. Yeah, it's a cleave. So it only works.
But you can still use all the actives like the power, the health, and the lifesteal. The increase, and between both of those you end up at 22% lifesteal, I think it is. What's the percentage on that little sword?
The sword is 8%.
8, and then I know the mask gives you 15, so 23% lifesteal with both of those. I do agree more lifesteal is needed. I agree that more pen is needed besides that chainsaw. That's just crazy good, right? Like more variety is needed for sure. But there's still a couple options in there. Like I've had situations where I'm like, okay, I need to build this sword to get that little bit of life steal, a little bit more life steal that I wanted out of it, and it was enough. Even though I really wish I could build more sometime.
Right. No, building more would be great, but also forcing somebody's hand to build an item that you don't get the passive out of, you basically give me a component. I don't have an item now. I'm paying full money for a tier 2 component in that sense, because I don't get the passive. Everybody else on this game is going to get 6 full passives. I'm only getting 5. That you're handcuffing me in that situation, and that's why I don't count that item. Yes, you do get lifesteal out of it, but you can't count that item as an ADC item, because
not a good one, but
yeah, because I could pick any other item and get a full, get all those besides lifesteal, get all stats and get passives out of it, and that's where I'm saying that doesn't there's only one ADC lifesteal item. And that's an issue in the game, right? You let your ADC do some chunking to that tanky Gideon. Well, guess what? He ain't gonna be. Nobody's talking about tank Gideon right now, because your ADC is able to do some damage to him while he's sitting there trying to ult on you. Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know why for rank I play only carry, just because I usually solo queue.
Because carries are busted.
Yeah, and if I'm a solo queue, give me carry, because there's one thing I can't stand is if the carry is not doing his job. But usually for sustainability, right? That's why I go. And again, I'm not saying it's right or anything, but just to tailor to the current build of the game, it'll be the Fanatics Dessert and then that mask emergency treatment. And then if I'm having an issue where tanks are the problem, it will have to be Chainsaw. But for me in particular, it has to also be Merchant's Jewelry Box. Those are the 2 tank cutter items that work really
and what about a Merchant's Jewelry Box tells you that that's a tank damage item?
I don't know. Let's open the box and let's find out. What's in the box?
Let's open the box and find out.
Yeah. But
I can't with you, bro.
But usually that's how at least my thought process is if I can't get the lifesteal, what else am I going to do to help balance that out a little bit to where I don't need the lifesteal per se? Because those 2 tank cutter cards, them tanks will feel it when you're chunking them for that 800-900.
They're good.
Or whatever.
The jewelry box and the chainsaw, also put together, you're chilling. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Let's go over the. He also in the same post goes over the jungler item.
Yes.
Yep. We also heard feedback about the more heroes playing with the Destroyer's Stone. I did it to increase the degree of freedom and allow for a variety of strategic play. Example, Jungle Revenant. But there seems to be a lot of negative feedback about non-jungler heroes getting this stone. What do you think about this?
Oh, may I?
Yeah, of course.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong real quick before you go. Isn't there a negative side to that item?
A negative side?
Like if you kill
yes.
like if you kill lane minions, it'll fuck you up, sort of vibe, right?
Let me see.
I just think you don't get any benefit.
I got the game pulled up literally right now. No, doesn't say anything.
No. Okay.
Oh wow.
Maybe
no.
I'm thinking of Pred and Hunt.
Yeah. So my philosophy with this, right? Because I really wish other games implemented a similar system to what Pred did, and how jungle is exclusive to Smite. It should even be exclusive to this too, especially with how important objectives are in the early game, and especially how important objectives are in that stale period of the game where you can only get an objective to finally get the tower and win the game. Because there's nothing more important, especially in that 35-minute period, than the Smite item. I don't care who's building what. That Smite item is going to be the most important thing, because that's going to be what steals objectives. That's going to be what secures objectives. And I hate seeing. There was a game where I seen 3 people building Destroyer Stone. There was the mid lane, the jungle, and the support. All of them had Destroyer Stone, and my jungler could not farm at all because he was getting ran through by 3 people at a time. And we obviously can't really help. We can't help him as a team per se, not yet, because obviously we have to lane and farm. And if we catch 1 or 2 off guard, but they were always together, and my jungler was just shot. And then when it came to objectives, they were all 3 smiting them. And obviously the smite is stronger as the game goes on. So can you imagine 3 people having a 1200 hitting smite? Like, somebody can do the math, and that is a massive smite that they can put on an objective, making it impossible for another team to try to take it. So,
yeah, bro, I'll be real with you. I built that shit on Wraith. Like, I accidentally played Wraith jungle one time, so I was like, fuck it, I guess I gotta build a jungle item. But then I was like, wait a minute, this gives me physical damage and ability damage if I level up that shit, and I got a smite? Bro, when you're Wraith on the duo lane, that purple buff is yours when you got a smite. And if you level it up, you get physical and ability, so your abilities hurt and your basics hurt. It's honestly kind of dumb that it's a strat. But I'm like, yo, especially as a Wraith, I can rewind you? I don't need a blink.
It definitely gets abused to a certain degree. And like, it's not the fact that if you're doing a Wraith jungle, go for it. But have it exclusive to the jungler. Like, don't have, like in my case, that one game I had where 3 people were running it, and you completely shut down the whole element on my team, and that's the whole jungling aspect. You can't even jungle at all.
Well, see, but games that make it exclusive are games that have an assigned role or a role queue. You know?
Yeah.
It's hard to make it exclusive to jungler if nobody claims that jungle role. Or if 3 people claim that jungler role, the game lets them, so now everybody can have it because they all claim the jungler role, you know?
Yeah. Right. Now, here's the counter argument to that, Menace, though, and that with your scenario you brought up, which I do agree that would suck, and I wouldn't want to deal with that either. But let's go over and play Pred for a little bit, and how big of a deal Fangtooth is, right? Now solo queue, and you take anything but jungle, right? And you know that Fangtooth's a big deal, right? Fangtooth is huge. You need Fangtooth, and you're even queuing, hey, go Fang, go Fang, go Fang. But your jungler just never wants to show up to Fang.
I know exactly where you're going.
And he's the only one that has he's the only one that has the hunt item. He's the only one that has the smite. So now you're sitting there trying to get Fang while the other enemy jungler's right there. Like, all right, go ahead, get it down for me, guys. I'm just going to jump in here and smite it real quick. Like that, like, how do you compete against that? Like
we call those Kalaris.
Yeah, I definitely see. It's definitely a double-edged sword. Definitely 2 hot takes on the particular scenario. Absolutely. But I don't know.
I just think there needs to be a way to trade it or pick it up or something or whatever. There's got to be something you can do. Like, you don't want 3 people taking it, but you should be able to be like, hey, I need this because this guy's not doing it. So we got to. I'll take over the duty, the objectives, the mantle, the duty. I got this, right? You go ahead and keep solo farming your jungle while nobody's paying attention to you. But we need these objectives to help with this game. Let me grab a smite up. But there's got to be something you can do in that situation to kind of counteract both these scenarios.
No.
Well, again, what a lot of games also do is if they do leave it available for everybody, they'll specifically put. I mean, we've seen again games that shall not be named. We see certain names go through, certain games go through and say, hey, if you do have this item, lane minions are now only worth like a quarter, or after 10 lane minions, you don't get any XP for the other minions. Almost be like, yo, you don't want to be in the lane when you have that item. You better go back to the jungle, like almost encouraging you to do so, right? Do we know if you can buy a blink and this? Or if the support can buy the support starter item and this?
No. I think when you buy, because the
like it blocks the rest,
it counts as a starter item, as one of the stones, essentially.
Right.
I got you. Okay. So it's just so it's not the fact that people are like stacking it, for example, just adding it because they want to. It's because of the fact that they can add it and not really lose out on much. Because what are the base stats for the Destroyer Stone?
Base? Nothing. It just has a passive.
Oh, okay. So as opposed to somebody that's grabbing, let's say, like the redstone, they're losing out on 10 power.
Right.
So it is a give and take.
Right. And it doesn't specify on there either, because again, I have the game pulled up, but it doesn't specify. If I was to sell my Destroyer Stone and pick it back up, if it's still going to do the same amount of damage to objectives, which I'm pretty sure it does. I don't want to test it to find out.
Yeah, I think it'll go based off to match timer. I don't know, actually.
No.
Mm-hmm.
What about what he says right after in there, Bearded, if you can read that to us?
Yeah, I got you. This is, what do you think of intentionally refusing to arrange a match? Now that I think about it, it seems like a design mistake on our part. Was it really necessary to have accept and reject buttons in the process of finding a match and going to the draft lobby? I started to have doubts about it. I completely think it's unnecessary. There's no reason for you to hit reject, right? If you aren't going to accept it, you can just let the timer go and let it kick you from the queue. There's no reason for you to reject.
Oh, you mean like accept or go AFK and don't accept?
Yeah, exactly. That's your two ways that you do it. You either just let the whole timer go through, then you get bumped in the lobby, and then those other 9 people or whoever accepted, they get bumped up, and then they're waiting for the fill of the people who didn't accept, right? You putting the reject timer there just allows for trolls. Because they can literally just sit here and queue and just hit reject all day while everybody's trying to find games. So you just keep hitting reject. Like I can just sit here and fuck with people because people want to do that. I don't know why people want to do that. Those parents need to get slapped because they raise kids like that. But you know,
because they raise kids like that.
That's
he says, shame on your mama.
Yeah, your mom needs to get slapped if you're doing that. And I'm saying it to you. Yeah, if you're upset because I said that, yes, I'm talking to you.
So I mean, you read it and I heard it completely wrong. I thought he was saying remove accept and or reject, like completely. I was about to say, no, I kind of need an accept button. No, but reject. Yeah, just remove the reject. It serves no purpose. If you can't play, you can't play. Don't hit accept. You know. Yeah,
I've done it in Pred. I've literally hit queue up or whatever, and then somebody jumped in. Hey man, can I jump in? And like I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. And I go to like cancel queue, and then bam, it accepted. I'm like, well, hey, I just want to accept. Or the queue popped, right? I didn't accept, so I just all right, let it go through. Then I hit accept, bring that person in, and I'm able to go in. Right? Shit happens. Like you some things, or I've queued up, thought I had everybody everybody that I was in party with, thought they were all ready. They weren't ready, so they didn't. They just went through. We went through the whole thing. All right, they didn't accept. All right, that's us. That's on us. We'll wait till everybody's back. Stuff like that happens, but we're not hitting reject on purpose just because we want to troll people. Like that's stupid.
Do you feel the same way about ranked?
Yeah, there's no reason why it doesn't matter if you queue.
So you're saying the only two options
reject.
You're saying the only two options should be accept or just don't answer, and it'll AFK timeout.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Not answering should count as the reject without you having the trolling capability.
So Theros Red is saying there should be penalties. There's no penalties right now for like draft dodging or anything?
I don't think.
I'm pretty sure there was.
Rejecting, no. If you hit reject, no, there's no penalty. But if you draft dodge, yeah, there's absolutely a penalty.
Got you.
Draft dodge, not queue dodge.
Yeah. Okay.
Queue dodging, no penalty. right? So if you let the queue go all the way through and you don't hit accept or you don't hit reject,
there's no penalty
there's
for
no
that.
penalty, right? But what Theros Red is saying, like, if you're gonna keep a reject button there, and you've hit reject 3 times already today,
There should be a penalty for it.
The next time you hit reject, you're gonna get it, but you hit with a penalty. You can't queue for the next 10 minutes or whatever. And then if he
bro, in League of Legends queue, if you go AFK, I'm getting a fucking ban timer, bro.
Yeah.
If I queued up for a match and I'm affecting other people's day, and I literally just go AFK, or I clicked on my character but I didn't lock it in, for example,
right,
I now can't play for 10 minutes or some shit like that.
So Sane says, what's going on? Sane, right now, currently in the game, because he hasn't been able to play yet. He just got a new laptop, so hopefully he's able to play.
Oh, spicy.
So right now in the game, when you queue up, doesn't matter if you're playing ranked or if you're playing quick play. When you queue up, there's an accept and reject button for your queue when the queue pops. So you can hit reject, and you can just keep on hitting reject every time you wanted to, and just kind of troll people if you wanted to. What one of the main devs is asking is if they should take this away. They kind of feel like it was a bad design decision, is what we're talking about. So we're kind of going over that and discussing what we feel about that. So yeah, I think there's no reason to have it. No reason to have it.
I like these posts, and again, big cojones, because he's actually like, hey, maybe these are design flaws. What do you guys think? I really wish he weren't asking it at 10 a.m. in the morning, our time. You know, on Discord, on a Discord chat only. Not even a full announcement, not even a polls here.
There's not even an ad, everyone. It literally is just a...
Like, if you show up there... If you show up there an hour later, you have no idea what the fuck happened unless people link the previous one, you know?
Right. Yep.
So I dig it, but I really do think a simple, hey, here's a poll, here's a link. There's a specific chat set up for polls, active polls that we're trying to get from the community. I think there's a better, more organized way instead of asking the random 100 people that happen to be there right then and there.
Okay. And saying that I think it's good to have it. However, there should be a limit to how many times and then a penalty should occur. I just don't. And saying, go ahead and put it in chat. Why do you think it's good to have it? Because I can't think of a good reason to have it. Like, you already have a way to avoid the timer. And it's not like the timer is 5 minute long. All right, queue popped. We gotta wait 5 minutes unless everybody hits accept now. It literally is it's a quick timer. So letting the timer go all the way through and missing it, going AFK from it, is completely
Yeah, Bearded saying you either lock in or go AFK and wait for the timer to run out, and you get kicked out.
Yeah.
He's saying there shouldn't be any options beyond that.
Yeah.
Want to go into the next part? Because
yeah,
I'm actually surprised. So, because these are 3 different things that he asked, and then there's 3 more. Like, my dude in the span of an hour was just boasting, bro.
Right?
All right, let's check it out.
When designing the game at first, I designed the game with 70% fight and 30% game management in mind to increase the speed and tension of the game.
That makes
However, the result was not so, and a lot of snowballing occurred from the beginning of the game, and I think that there are many games that cannot be reversed once the game starts to tilt. I think this is clearly a design mistake on my part. I think players are not getting the fun of the operation because of this. In order to improve this part, I will try to adjust the balance of kill and assist experience value, portal cooltime, minion experience value, and minion speed, also sprint mode.
That fixes the game right there. That should have like a couple thousand likes.
But here's the issue. That right there just says, hey, this is no longer Overprime. We're making Predecessor.
All right, so I think that's a very bold statement, but I understand what you're saying. Because
I said it a little aggressively.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying
for a reason. I was dressing for a reason on that.
I get what you're saying, because Overprime is Overprime because of the battles. Be like, that's kind of what makes it so unique. the constant fighting and etc. Now, I don't necessarily like all the constant fighting, but there's a lot of things about Overprime that I'm like, yo, if you change it too much, if you slow it down too much, this stops being Overprime. And like, I don't know if they should double down on being so unique, kind of like they did with only one tower, one inhibitor, or if they should mellow it out to kind of please the more mobile audience. Because I think that's one of the issues that they're running into, right? Like, there's a reason why Pokemon Unite is successful for what it is. It has mobile elements, but it's not trying to tailor to a mobile audience, if that makes sense. It's not trying to be the perfect MOBA. It's trying to do its own thing. And I think that's right along the same lines that Overprime is right now.
I think this can be the Pokemon Unite for adults, right? And I say that in like a whatever way. Like, I don't mean to say that adults don't like Pokemon, because I know a lot like you guys do enjoy. I don't get into it, right? So there's games like, but I'm a gamer. I want to play these games, right? And these, you can have that to where I don't have to sit here and play Pikachu and defend my tower. I can play as Murdock and defend my tower. You know, like that's like, allow me to play a non-kid style, because that's what Pokemon is. I'm sorry, I know adults follow it, but that's what Pokemon is. It's more of a kid cartoon style situation, anime.
Well, let me ask, and I'm sorry to interrupt. You remember when Mango said, when we played the final test, when we all first played the final test before early access, Mangoose pointed out that the game was so slow that he almost felt like it was too much slower compared to what it was before, which is even more mayhem beforehand.
Well, he said going into it that he was worried about it because of all the changes they made. Having all three abilities unlocked, at level 1, all the things that changed to it. They going into that, he's worried that this is going to be too slow in that situation.
And that's all them slowly trying to go towards that side of balancing, adjusting kills and assists, experience value, cooldowns, minion experience, sprint mode, etc. Like, they did all that to try and slow down the early game because it was Wild West before. It's a lot better now, by all means. But what that message says,
this version than CBT 2.
Yeah, but what that message says is they might tone it down even more. So it's this, like, Overprime right now is not the Overprime that people played and saw a year ago at all.
Yeah,
I don't think it's even close.
But here's another issue I have.
But what if they tone it down even more? It's going to lose its identity.
If you go from what everybody fell in love with in CBT 1, right? Not everybody, because I was one of the few that did. I did not like it. CBT 1, CBT 2, right? Final test, liked it. This, I'm really enjoying it, right? But if you take all of that, right? Hey, this is what Paragon The Overprime is. Look at CBT 1. Then look how it changed in CB2, and look how it changed in final test, and look how we are changed now in early access, and now we're going to change even drastic. That just screams Paragon to me, and how often it changed, and how because of all these big changes, all of a sudden you got a season version 42 that drops. That all of a sudden, no, this is not the game that we came here to play. This is not the game we fell in love with. So now all of a sudden, I'm leaving.
So I think that you're reaching at a core issue that Paragon ran into, and that one of our viewers actually brought up before. Right now, by trying to reinvent this genre in a 3D way, they're almost trying to reinvent the wheel, right? A proven method that works, but they want to make it spicier, right? So I honestly think that them making, that's what I'm saying, them making all these changes, they either need to double down, understand that even though they might have marketed towards MOBA players, but maybe a lot of MOBA players might not be into this, right? Some might not. If a lot of players are leaving, like in a business sense, if a lot of players are leaving, let's say 60% of the players are leaving from the original number, right? They have two options. They can either focus on why the 60% left, or if the 40% is what makes up our game, how can we make that 40% all of our target marketing? Like, instead of, like, you get me? Like, instead of advertising towards the bigger pond, why not? They can either stick towards their vision and grow a fan base and audience dedicated of players that want their vision, or if they listen to the overall MOBA audience, this game is slowly going to turn into League of Legends. And I think that's a big problem that Paragon had, because Paragon had all these crazy ideas, but the overall MOBA audience wanted it to change. And as the games kept changing, there was so much confusion. It threw people off. It almost like it had an identity crisis because it was trying to please the overall MOBA audience. And that's why I brought up Pokemon Unite as an example. Pokemon Unite isn't trying to please the overall MOBA audience. They said, hey, this core, let's say 20,000 players are the ones that love our game. We need to find how to duplicate those 20,000 players, not try to convince the other million to join us. We need to focus our target marketing on the core group that'll focus. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not getting too much into a tangent.
No, that's where I get in. That's where I'm saying I agree with you. And I think that's what needs to happen. I think these changes, these drastic changes, are putting it more in line with Paragon. And that all of a sudden you go like this is what we started as. Look what Paragon started as, and look what it ended as. Completely different games. And that's what Paragon The Overprime is starting to do. You look what it started as, and if we make even more of these changes to look more like an actual MOBA, then we're going to be the exact opposite of what we started as. And that's going to be the issue. And I think they need to go the Pokemon Unite side and not try to please the MOBA industry and just create their own game that has MOBA elements.
I honestly think that even though this is very awesome to get community engagement, I think this is also very dangerous. Because I think we can all agree the majority of players don't even truly know what the fuck they want, right? They always want, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this added in here, and then when it's added in here, like, oh, that's a horrible game mechanic. Who would have asked for that? Like, it's nice to see the interaction, especially from a lead dev like that. Yeah. But it's also very walk carefully through there, I would say to them.
This is the first. I didn't see this one at all because I've just been too busy. So I've been like listening to everything you guys are saying, and then I'm reading this and trying to just understand.
The first part, the 1047 one.
No, just the whole first paragraph. But like my initial take, right, and initial opinion, and I don't like to make initial opinions this quick, but if they're going to make changes like this, damn, this is a tough one. I will want to see it, and again, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. But I will need to see it in small, but more importantly, consistent changes. I don't want it to be too big of a change all at once, and then we're all waiting, and then a big change at the very end. I wouldn't want that. If it's something that we can all ease into, I think. Yeah,
or something that they could correct, maybe if they make a change, revert it because it's not too much has been changed.
Seeing them say take sprint mode away, that brings me terrors, because I am like many MOBA players who my first MOBA was Paragon. So I naturally thought sprint mode was a natural thing to have. I didn't think nothing crazy of it. I don't think it's nothing crazy in Overprime. So I would hate to see sprint mode go away. But all these other things that he's talking about, like value of kills and assists, experience values, all that stuff can easily be eased into to where it doesn't feel like it's being changed too much, but it's definitely being made better, if that makes sense.
So I think some of these, if we nitpick this whole statement, I think some of these can be great, right? And can actually still, you can keep the same speed and everything on this game, and you can still have some of this, right? So like that, I will try to adjust a balance of kill and assist experience. You could that adjustment right there would
be big. The pace of the game,
How often you're not gonna? There's no point of you to snowball right away. right? Or just have these all out brawls, right? You can still have action in the game and still be what you want it to do. You can still have the sprint mode. You can still keep everything, the teleports, everything can still be there. But there's no reason for like all of a sudden a 5v5 in the duo lane. Like why are we doing this right now? Like it literally is. Like what's the point? Just because the portal's opened up, all of a sudden here we are, everybody's here. Like that doesn't have to be a thing. And then you have the other ones, portal cool time. That one, I don't think that one changes the game too drastically. Like
I don't think it's too horrible right now, to be honest. I think that's okay.
I think, but even if you make it longer, or hey, it's cool, we got, or whatever, make it faster. I don't know. I think that's just going to encourage more snowbally situations. So, but yeah, I think increasing the cooldown times for portals, that's not going to hurt the game too drastically. What you're going to do is hurt this game drastically is going to be the minion speed and the sprint mode. That's going to be really changing this game, right? But we got to it's certain things you got to do. And now if you make these drastic changes, you make all of that, you put all of it together, that is the recipe of creating pred.
Yeah, I know. A suggestion for portals was have portals be
model this PTSD, right?
Still have portals. One person can go through, but have it to where they have to channel it. Like you stand in front of it, and it takes I'm just throwing a number out there, 2 seconds to actually go through, and then make it like a more prominent sound if somebody's going through it. I think that'll help. A lot, because there are a lot of players who just completely unaware of somebody being.
How about, you remember in Fault, whenever you would channel a teleport, a beam would show up on that tower, like a super huge indicator somebody's going to show up. Imagine if you're channeling at a portal, I don't know, where you see that beam going up into the sky, and you're like, somebody's on the other side of this wall trying to use a portal. Let me type it out. Bing, bing, bing. Careful left. Careful left. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. That way, again, it just adds onto that ease into it statement that I made earlier, to where you don't have to do something as drastic as just completely, taking it out of the game. But I'm not going to nitpick everything here. We could definitely go on to the next one if you guys want.
Yeah, I was just going to throw out that the 70% fight, 30% game management was his goal, and that it was clearly a design mistake on their part, is what they said. Right. That leads me to believe that they want him to be less fight, more game, which I'm not against. But again, I think that statement alone is going away from the core idea of what people think that Overprime is. And I don't know if that's what they should do.
I think they can a little bit, right? We don't want 50-50.
Like 60-40 maybe?
Yeah, 60, maybe there's a certain number. You got to find that balance, right? That way you still keep the PTO feel, but it's just not as prominent as it was with the 70-30, right? I think that is the issue. I think 70-30 is just too much, and I think we need to find, it might even be 65-35. Right? Is that right? Yeah. It might be, or it could be 62-38. I don't know. There's just some kind of a number adjustment that you got to find at whatever that is, right? And once you find that, I think that's going to be a lot better.
We can go on to the next one.
And let's not create pred. And I agree with it.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't want two of the exact same games. I love the fact that we have two games to play that are different. Because they're so different, I believe they can coexist together. I think both these games can go full release, and we're still playing them in 3 years from now.
Yeah, I agree. I would hate to see them be,
if we make these changes
anywhere close to identical. Because I could play one and get highly irritated and play the other one and just be a complete mind reset. And I love that feeling. I would hate for it to be identical.
Yeah. Yep, and then it's vice versa the next day. You got irritated with the other one, you go play the next one, whatever, and I love that about these games. So, all right, on to the next one. And when the game crashes or the game is shut down due to network issues, we are all well aware of the issue of receiving excessive penalty if you do not re-enter the game for a certain period of time. I am also fixing this part.
That just makes me think of Joker, bro. Joker disconnected 4 times in one match, got a 24-hour ban, bro. I was like, no.
So,
I don't think it's a bad
short
one.
window. Like, let me tell you guys an experiment I did for this. It's a short window, and I don't know the exact time that you need to get in the game. I just know how long it takes for my computer to boot up. Because I remember I played a ranked game. I green screened, right? So obviously I got to restart my whole entire computer. My computer takes 1 minute and 7 seconds to fully be back up and running. And by the time I got back in game, but when the game was over, I had a 30-minute penalty. I was like, God,
Ooh, bro. For a minute.
Yeah, so I don't know what the window is for the game exactly. I just know it don't take that long to restart my computer. But that definitely needs to be addressed. It's not a deal breaker for me in particular right now. But I can say if it happens to people who just, for a lack of better terms, if you just don't take care of your computer and your computer is constantly fucking crashing, right? Yeah, I can see how this would be a big deal breaker for you.
Yeah, or if you just have a llama that controls your internet, then you have Joker.
Poor Joker, bro. My dude's at McDonald's trying to get the Wi-Fi password for Burger King. Poor guy.
They gave him a nap type at McDonald's.
So no, this is one of those ones that there's not much discussion to it. Like it's not like, hey, what are your thoughts about this? This is just him letting us know this is stuff we're working on.
Yeah,
and that's great to see.
Which I agree.
That's great.
Yeah,
to
that's
see.
nice.
Yep.
I think we can go to the next one. Yeah,
that there's a lot of feedback asking us to adjust the entry requirement for ranked matches to level 10 to 15. And this, I completely agree, because then, Windu, you wouldn't have had some of the issues that you had when you played your ranked match on Saturday.
It was rough, bro. Tell you what. Like again, what was the word you used, Menace, as far as learning goes?
Critically learning.
But yeah. So here's my thing on it. If they have a well-developed MMR system, whether it's casual or ranked, right? I don't see why, if you're doing placement matches, it's not going to consider at all your casual. Because I think I got like 70, 80 win rate. My average KDA is like a 5 or a 6 or something like that, right? Like it's
factor in something. You don't need the complete quick battle MMR, but have something to
like, bro. In my match, I was 25-3. And I look at Huddy, and I'm literally telling Huddy, I'm like, bro, our team has 30 kills. I'm 25 of them. This is not good. Like, this is not good, bro. And then,
I mean, it makes sense. You're playing with Huddy at 10.
Well, but here's the wild part. Like, if their team was equally balanced, I would have been like, okay, you know what? This kind of makes sense. It really did feel like our teammates were there to kind of bring us down to average it out. Because the enemy team, bro, I saw so many well-executed 5-man ganks on me as the carry being in the lead. I literally was sitting there, even talking to Huddy. I'm like, I can't even be mad, bro. These motherfuckers are playing their asses off, bro. They're using all CC on their team to CC lock me to next fucking year. Like, this shit is honestly unreal. They're playing absolutely great. Meanwhile, I do got 2 players that are chewing glue over there, but that's a different story. And I'm like, bro. It was interesting. I'm still going to try it again. It was just it was a rough enough experience that I looked at it and I said, I am not doing 9 more of those placements today. I'm switching off this game. I'm going to go play some TFT. That's literally how bad of an experience it was. And again, I'm somebody that's going to play it
when it makes you go play TFT, because that's horrible.
I hate him, bro. TFT is great. Relax.
TFT is amazing.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like, again, like Bearded mentioned, we're individuals that we're going to play this game, even though it pisses us off sometimes, for content and because we want to support it for the game to get better, right? Mm-hmm. So regardless,
honestly,
that's why we do the show. Yeah. We want to give them that critical feedback, that good critique, constructive critique to help them make the game better. And we want to give you guys the platform to come in here to a chat, whether you're live chat or whether you're chat in the YouTube version, to allow the devs to see what we feel as a community.
I never uninstall a game of supporting, but if that one match made me get to the point that I'm like, I'm not touching this fucking game till the new year. Legit. I played that shit. I was like, New Year's right around the fucking corner. I'm trying that shit next year, bro. Fuck that. like, I can only imagine that there's individuals out there that would have had a similar experience, and they're like, uninstall. I'm going back to Minecraft. Fuck this.
Yep.
I'm going back to League of Legends, etc. Like, it's... I think they need to focus on the core demographic. Go ahead.
I want to rewind back though to the very first thing that when Ranger started putting this little diary out here. What do you guys think is the issue that we're seeing this influx of I wouldn't say massive, a good amount of people just leaving the game? Like, why are people leaving the game? What is it about this game that people are leaving?
I think I know. And it's not even pointing out something in the game. I think it literally comes out to the target audience that you're trying to get into the game, and then the game that you have established for them, right? If you're developing a competitive shooter and you target Rainbow Six Siege fans or Valorant fans or CSGO fans, and you're doing a competitive shooter, you're like, okay, I kind of see the target audience that you're going for. I got you, right? That's kind of like saying I'm building Smash Brothers and I'm going to target the Mortal Kombat audience. Those aren't the same people. Just because it's a fighting game. Does that make sense when I put it that drastically?
No.
It makes complete sense.
I have a question, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, that was basically it. That's what I really think it is. I think it's target audience versus expectation and reality.
My question is, what do you think their target audience is so far on what we've seen?
Honestly, if I were them and I were trying to target a 3D game audience that is team-based and objectives, I would 100% target. I would still probably target somewhat of the actual advertising towards Smite specifically. I wouldn't even waste a dime on League of Legends players and shit like that, right? Because they're a little bit too hardcore. I would still advertise a little bit towards Smite because I think Smite players will enjoy some Overprime. But if I were them, I would probably put a good amount as far as into Paladins. I'd probably go towards the Overwatch side as well. Heroes of the Storm players, they need a new fucking home because holy shit, right? But even if they haven't played Heroes of the Storms in a year, because they liked Heroes of the Storms at one point, Google has that tracking. They know that if they push out to Heroes of the Storm players, somebody that played Heroes of the Storm 5 years ago is going to be like, hey, look at this. I might be able to try it. You get where I'm coming from? I think that they should be going after MOBA-like games, not MOBA games, with the exception of Smite because of it being third party and etc. Games with MOBA aspects to it, but specifically focusing on third-person combat, especially if they want it to be a 70-30 split. If they were to tell me 70% game, 30% combat, target League of Legends players, bro. If you got that much depth, that much intricacy, you need to actually target Dota players, bro. Those are the motherfuckers that love doing 30 billion things at the same time just for the laning phase. Like, I just think they really should really look at their overall MOBA audience, because I think they probably bet a little bit too much in the Asian market. They probably assume that because the Asian market is big onto MOBAs, that they could probably just target MOBA in the Asian market and, just MOBA in general, and that they were going to have success. And they did very good marketing, which drew in a lot of people. But if you come in expecting a Philly cheesesteak and out of nowhere, that shit got some funky ingredients because it's not a true Philly cheesesteak, it might not be bad, but it's not the Philly cheesesteak that you expect. Like, when you go and you buy a New York
cheesesteak,
or when you go and buy a New York Italian pizza, bro. But you get what I'm saying? Like, if you go and you see authentic Italian pizza, you're like, this shit better be good. And then you go eat a slice and you're like, that shit wasn't fucking New York pizza. Get me the fuck out of here, bro. That shit was whack. I feel like that's the example that people might be having. They come into this expecting a crazy, awesome, super fighting MOBA, and they find out that it might be less MOBA than they expected. But that's because they're tailoring to MOBA players.
And I think you're actually right with what you're saying, and I think a lot of this comes down to what I said when we first found out that their name change, right? Because if you looked at the two games before they took the name Paragon, you looked at OP and you Overprime, and you looked at Predecessor. Which one of those games to you reminds you of Paragon?
Paragon?
Yeah,
Overprime.
Overprime reminds you of Paragon.
Yes.
It depends on the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel that way. I definitely feel that when I look at these two games, Predecessor is the game this is Paragon. This is what I remember playing. This is what when it shut down, this is what I played. That's what I remember.
So I'm talking about when I first started, and I started when it very first came out. It was sprint mode. And again, I'm just saying look and feel. I'm not talking about balance. I'm not talking about heroes.
Right.
Look and feel. Overprime hits it for me because again, I started first mobile, first everything on Paragon's first edition, their first version of the game, and that's why Overprime hits it harder for me than Predecessor.
See, I'm kind of with Menace because here's my thing on it. Even before Predecessor came out on early access, before Overprime came out on early access, during the final test, that week and a half, I think it was, some shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. That we played it. I remember specifically telling my viewers, this feels like what Paragon should have been. And that was the biggest compliment I've ever gave Paragon the Overprime. I had that high regards for it, by all means. Right. I will say because it combined a lot of elements and a lot of the good parts with a lot of, creative liberty and such. And I honestly felt like that was what Paragon should have been. I will say though, when I played Predecessor, it reminded me of my favorite moment in Paragon. Right when they were switching over towards Monolith, they had the old item system. It was like an in-between stage, but I thoroughly enjoyed that specific version of Paragon the most. So I can totally see why I like Predecessor so much, because it resonates with that one period in time that that I liked, so to speak. But Paragon the Overprime has so fucking many Paragon things about it that people can pick it up, and if they've never played any other game, they say, I love this is Paragon. What will get you out of that vibe is the constant fighting, because in Paragon, by the time you finish rotating, the fight would be over. You would take a minute to go from lane to lane and shit.
And that's what I'm getting at. I'm getting at that. That's my whole point, is they took the name Paragon. They went and asked for it. They got the name Paragon. So what are they going to do? They're going to attract true MOBA Paragon fans. So when they attract these true MOBA Paragon fans, they come in here, they're playing this game, and they play it for a little bit, and they play it for so long because they got to play their Paragon heroes again. Oh my gosh, I get to play these guys again. And then they started playing. It's like, well, wait a minute. Something's off.
Have this.
Something's off. Like this just isn't. This isn't what I remember playing Paragon. Like, why is it like it's 70-30 brawler split? It just was. So then now those true MOBA fans are like, all right, this isn't the MOBA that I thought I was coming into, because you told me it was a Philly cheesesteak when you said it's Paragon the Overprime. You said this was a Philly cheesesteak, and now I came here and this isn't a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, it's definitely double edged using that name.
And I get their reason for it.
It's bringing them in, and then is keeping them on the back.
Right, right. And Stunt said it. It was a good marketing thing. I understand completely why they put the name Paragon on their situation, but that's also the reason why you're seeing the influx of people leaving. Is it influx? Is that right? Would it be?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I'm thinking influx, people are coming in. But all right, yeah. So.
Outflux,
the outflux of we'll just make words up here. We got this. So I think that the efflux. So
wait, is that what I mean? I gotta Google this.
I don't know. Outflux.
Right. By the way, as we talk, I'm gonna play some original Paragon gameplay 6 years ago. This is Legacy. So you guys can maybe look at this and see if you can tell some differences or not as we chat.
Had, though, was the two towers. Like even then, like I get visually, like when you're looking at the Legacy map, yes, Paragon the Overprime does kind of give you that Legacy feel. with the visuals because they do it because of what they have the Agarith, right? Is that what it's called? Their
Agalith.
It's called Agarith. Yeah. Agalith, yeah, because it's a mixture of Monolith and Agora. So yeah, it does visually. You can see some things that remind you of Paragon, but like when I'm looking at I'm talking about when you play the game, the actual core groups of the game, 2 towers, 1 inhib, everything that goes to the game, not the portals, like I just feel like Predecessor is one that gives you that.
Or do you guys see this gameplay? How slow the attack speed is?
Oh my god!
And the movement.
Yeah,
this is Paragon.
This Paragon. The
I used to think this was fast.
Coke.
No, and that
Coke with
that's the thing. People remember Paragon way differently than what it actually was.
That looks like slow motion FPG says.
This is what I started on right here.
Chat here.
First MOBA, first anything. This is what I started on. So everything in this game, I didn't compare it to another game. I didn't say, oh, this doesn't belong in this game. Maybe some things could be balanced, but I never said something should be like completely like removed because this game does it this way. You know what I mean?
Flux is a legit word. All right.
Yeah. I Googled it. Yeah.
Does it mean like the outward?
It's the opposite of influx, yeah.
All right, yeah. So Flux is what it would be. Sweet, thank you, Rachel. We learned a new word today. I like it. Legacy was such a good ass map. Was just too big.
Look at that waterfall. Yeah. Look at that waterfall on the left right there. Man, those little details.
And look at the lasers from the minions. The lasers on the minions are going quick as shit, bro. And then travel mode gets on, it's back to normal speed.
I like the lasers on the minions. I like it better than the single projectile they have.
Those are the stormtrooper lasers, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah. I never played this. This is the Paragon that I never played.
Oh, see, this is the Paragon I started playing. Yeah, that's why I pulled it up, because too many people remember Paragon like the ex-girlfriend that they were like, but she was so nice to me, bitch.
The V42 version, yeah. No.
No. And this isn't even V42, bro.
No, this is V nothing.
This is like This is like patch 0.2 sort of vibe. Like, it's to the point that the players don't even have player names. It just says Paragon and a number.
See how slow he was knocked up in the air for that Halloween mod? Man, it was like stuck in the air for me. Just dragging through, just gliding through the air.
Visually though, it's slow. And there's some things that need to be worked on. It's not amazing, but like visually though, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, 100%. Visually, it was beautiful. That wasn't a question.
Like, we're looking at this game. How old was this? This is how long?
This is 6 years ago.
6 years.
6 years ago. 6 years ago, and the details on Twin Blast, and how smooth he looks. Like, it's not. Or on Rampage. When I saw Rampage come into the lane there, I'm like, whoa, okay.
Odo says he'll play this again. I 100% would do the same thing. I would play it again.
But I just want people to realize that when people run into Paragon, they're either expecting that, right? I'll put up an example of V42, just so you guys can see a little bit of a difference while we chat. Well, you guys saw how drastic that was.
I think there's more people remembering V42 because that was more recent. That's like more of a recency bias in comparison to what we're talking about. Obviously, recency bias is normally talking about like the things that happened yesterday, but like in comparison to these two situations, right? We're talking about Legacy to Monolith. Monolith is the more recent one, so that's what people remember what Paragon being and what we left it off as. Now, there was a couple different versions of Monolith that we had, with V42 being the whole card system and gem system that you had to go with it, which was a drastic change. So you could still have the Monolith map and the Paragon feel that didn't have that drastic change with the cards and the gem system.
Yeah. Now, this is V42 footage that we're looking at. Again, all just being compared to Paragon the Overprime.
Can somebody hire whoever made these images for these cards? Because I don't care. Nobody say no images were.
Dude! Somebody commented. Was that? It was one of our games. One of our shows, either Predecessor or Primecast on YouTube. Somebody commented about and the cards, and they loved the card system because they kind of gave you a Magic the Gathering kind of feel to it.
Okay. I have no idea what Magic the Gathering is.
It's a card game. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh.
You sit there and you play
like Yu-Gi-Oh, but not Yu-Gi-Oh.
Come on.
I gotta step away real quick.
All right.
each
I
other.
mean, what, Matt? What is that card game you guys play? That's like TFT. It's the same thing, but it's like
Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah, Legend of Runeterra. That's like literally League of Legends MTG.
Yeah,
wannabe.
basically. But yeah, and here's the point that I'm bringing up, right? Like even here, the way that you see these people fight, and again, there is no travel mode here. The way you see autos and everything.
2v1. This is the 2v1 lane.
This is the 2v1 meta that they forced on people. Correct.
Yep.
But like, if you literally sit here and you're like, okay, so this speed is a little bit more like it, right? And maybe that's why they got the whole Agalith thing. Like it's more like monolith gameplay with legacy looks and vibes and everything, which I get it. I dig the appeal of what they're doing for their game. I'm just very concerned that them changing drastically to tone everything down, that they're literally just, as somebody in the chat said it best earlier, they're trying to out-pred Predecessor, where they should be just Overprime and nobody can touch Overprime because of what it is, and nobody can be as good at being Overprime. That's what they should be doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember that comment.
But yeah, and the only reason I bring up that gameplay, guys, is it's to just put perspective, right? Because I think that Paragon The Overprime has made leaps and strides from where they were before.
Right.
I don't think they're in a bad spot. I think that their balance is out of whack, and I think that their fucking like cooldown timers and shit, all that shit's out of whack. Starting attack speed, etc. They can still have the same end goal, lowering the base stats but increasing scaling of values. They can still have the same goal and get to where they want to be by the 25-minute mark without changing what their game is, right? And I really fear the fact that if they're gonna sit here and try to tone everything down again across the board, I honestly feel like they're just going to lose their identity. Yeah, and I think they should be doubling down.
Right, and that was Horatio that said that, and it was right here. It says we were going with your guys' conversation. He's saying he agrees with you, like you didn't get. It wasn't too confusing, and that's why they need to do in order to not be more like Pred, as Bearded puts. PTO can't really out Pred, which is what makes it so scary. And yeah, because Pred's already got a good foothold in that situation. They're doing a really good job with what they're doing, and PTO's doing a good job with what they're doing. They just got to define their identity. That's the thing. Predecessor already had the MOBA identity. That's what they're going for. They're not trying for anything different. So we're making a tower defense MOBA. This is what we're going for. PTO is going for something a little bit different. So they got to define that identity, because that identity is not really out there. There isn't a game that's doing something similar to this besides Pokemon Unite. But Pokemon Unite's got such a big following because it's got the name Pokemon on it, right? So it's something that's different in that situation. Like if PTO teamed up with League of Legends and made this a League of Legends, the Overprime, you would have that following. It's like, all right, people are going to start playing it just because it's got that name that follows it. Paragon was big, right? We all loved it, but it wasn't up there.
You bring up a fair point. Yeah, you bring up a fair point, because here's the thing. It's harder to take bold risks like that when you don't have an established following. If you have an established following, I mean, shit, Coca-Cola might come out with a new random ass flavor and we'll be like, you know what? I'll try it, just because we've tried their products before.
Right.
But when you go to the dollar store and you see that drink that you've never heard before in your life, you're like, yeah, I don't know if that's worth the $1. I'm okay.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. 100%. So no, I agree. And that's, I want them to keep their identity, because I want both these games to coexist. Like I don't want that continued the Pred fanboy, the OP fanboy, and the clashing heads. Our game's better than your game. Like the games are completely different. Like, we're not sitting here comparing, the NFL football against, European football. Like they're completely different games. Let them coexist. We can. If you play your game, I'll play my game.
Can you imagine how bad it would get if either one got similar to the other one? Oh man, it was already bad enough when both these games came out. Man.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just allow them to coexist and enjoy it. And if you are the select few like us that enjoy both games, then let's enjoy both games and let's keep supporting both of them and have a good time. And if you're the one that likes one, then enjoy that one and help support that one. And if you're the one that likes the other one, then enjoy the other one and help support the other one.
Support does not mean trash talking the other one.
Exactly.
Hit them where it hurts.
Just for my critical learners out there.
For the critical learners. Support does not mean bash the other team. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're reaching the end of this. We've already actually been here for about 2 hours, so legit, you guys are awesome. Anybody? So let's do this. Let's do our quick little tell people what you're up to. Give a little bit of feedback to the community or to the developers, whatever you prefer. Menace, you can go first. Same order.
Yep. So again, guys, if you haven't seen yet, I am Menace Rex. I make content daily on YouTube, and we'll still be continuing our streams on Twitch. I'm slowing things down a little bit because of me moving from to a different state. However, if you do see me online on my Discord or in other people's Discord, feel free to ask a question. My biggest objective while being a partner is just to try to be a voice for the unheard. I'm not going to glorify the game by any means. I will critically, look at this game through a magnifying glass. So don't be afraid to say things. I do weekly Reddit sessions, live chat in the Paragon The Overprime's Reddit thread. So if you ever see me on there too, I do live chats and I'll just have them going. And anything I see on there, I send over to the devs so they can pick it apart. But yeah, that's my little 2-bit.
You want to swap the screens, or are we just going to keep Soul Reaper? His game
Go ahead.
Damn.
Hey man, I got you. Say something, Menace.
You better edit my face on this. I don't care if it's a still shot or what.
Everybody, go follow that man. Legit. All right, Bearded.
Yeah, the guy that has the big red stuff behind him, guys, that's the one that was talking, giving you all the information. So find him and get him some love.
Jesus.
Look,
bro, if after 2 hours they don't know who's talking, we got a different problem with critical learners, okay?
Right, exactly. I was looking, I'm like, am I watching somebody else's stream right now? I thought it was on mine. I'm looking, oh no, that's my chat. All right, wait, hey, you want to swap that screen? All right. As for myself, what I got going on, and with the community, I already said what I said to the community. Let's keep the fighting separate. Let's support the games you want to support and have a good time. That's the biggest thing. We've already went over how we feel about the game, where things you guys can help us fix that. So with myself, I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning to go to St. Louis, Missouri for work. So I'll be there all week. So my Tuesday and Thursday streams are canceled due to that. And of course, with the holidays, I didn't have time to really kind of back up some YouTube content. I do have a video going live tomorrow. So if we can get some support on my YouTube channel, that'd be great. I think we're I think after the last stream, we're like two subscribers away from hitting my 200 subscriber goal. So let's hit that. And then, but other than that, we're going to keep grinding on that and grinding on streams.
Spicy. Sorry about that again, Menace. But yeah,
you better edit my face. That's all I said.
I can't, whatever. As far as me, I'm officially ending the hiatus as far as not, live streaming games, and back to the grind and consistently streaming and uploading videos and stuff tomorrow. So if you guys do want to stop by my Twitch stream, I will be there tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. And as far as videos, I'm always making videos, trying to come up with something cool, show some gameplay, etc. And I'm gonna be playing some Paragon The Overprime exclusively for a week, because that's something that I've been doing. Like if I play Paragon The Overprime, I play it solid for a week. If I play it Predecessor, solid for a week, just to not confuse the shit out of myself, switching back and forth, but to also, show the games a little bit of love. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you watching till this far. If you guys did make it this far, wherever you're watching, please leave a GG. in the chat, in the comments, wherever the hell it might be, because we really do appreciate you. But we will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. And go bowling when you go to St. Louis.
Go bowling?
Yeah.
What the fuck?